Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I am Raju Upadhyay from CIMAGE College, Patna, Department of IT. In the previous video, I talked about what is called checkbox and their constructors as well as their important methods. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about implementation part of the checkbox. So we will start with the implementation part, how to create a checkbox and how we can use it, right? So in order to go for the implementation part, I'm going to share my video to you. So I'm going to share my video. So I hope my text box editor is visible to all, right? So in order to create a checkbox, we need to have, at first, we should be having the top level container that is called JFrame. Then within that, we are going to have the panel using the JPanel class, as well as we are going to have the important class that is called JCheckBox. So these three important classes need to be imported. So let us import all these three classes first. So write import Java X, right, dot swing, because all these class belongs to swing package. Then we'll write, first of all, we'll write JFrame. We'll write it in a proper order, JFrame, right? And then we have to import Java X dot string and then JPanel, because the panel is going to be the intermediate container for the GUI. And then we are going to create a checkbox. So in order to get the checkbox, we need to have the third class is called JCheckBox class. Right, so all these classes are ready. Now we are going to have our own class. So we can start writing a class by just writing the keyword called class, followed by checkbox. Clear. I'm going to write a program name as checkbox, IFPL, that is implementation. And this is going to extend from your JFrame, right? So all members of the JFrame, that means we can say all non-private members of JFrame class will be a part of this checkbox implementation class, right? So now within this, we are going to have, first of all, we have to create a set of reference variable, which we are going to use as a part of the application. So already we are having a JFrame as a part of this particular class. So we need to write JPanel. Let's say I'm going to create a reference variable as JP. Then we need a reference variable for checkbox. We can have reference variable of checkbox. Let's say we are going to have a checkbox for the checkbox C1, comma, C2, comma, let's say C3, right? Then we can have the constructor in which we are going to initialize all these three or four reference variables. So obviously, this is going to make the constructor. The class name and method name has to be the same. So within this constructor, we are going to initialize all, right? So let us initialize first panel. So I write JP equal to new JPanel. And this panel doesn't require any sort of parameters, so we'll be living like this. Then I've taken the three checkboxes. So we can initialize like this, C1 equal to new, right? C1 equal to new, J checkbox, right? And within this, we have to give the label out here as a string. So let's say for the first checkbox, I wanted to have for music. You can have any name. For the second checkbox, so In order to shorten the time, I'll be taking these three checkboxes declared. So this is the second checkbox. Instead of music, I'll be having out here sports. Right, sports. And the third one, for the third one, C3, we are going to have painting. Right. So once this is done, so we need to add all these C1, C2, C3 to a panel, and then finally we have to add this panel to the frame, right? So let us add it. So we'll write here gp dot add. Here we are going to add C1, gp dot add. We can have C2, gp dot add C3, right? And after that, once it is added to the panel, then this panel need to add to the frame, right? But before that, we need to set all the properties of the frame, right? So in the frame, I wanted to have the one title bar. So here I'll be writing, in order to set the title bar, we are having a method called set title. And this method belongs to your JFrame class. So here I can write down some sort of title, JCheckBox implementation, right? And once the title is set, then we have to make this particular frame visible to the user. So because by default, frame is not visible to the user. So we'll write here set visible, and parameter has to be the Boolean, that is true. And then we have to set the dimension on using what dimension this frame is going to appear on the screen. So here I'll write set size, right? And then the size has to be in the form of pixel itself. So let's say I'm going to have 500 pixel, comma, 400 pixel. And then finally, we have to add this particular panel to a frame. So in order to add it into the frame, the add is a method of frame where we are going to add this panel, right? And then I want that whenever we are going to close this particular frame, automatically the control should be released from the command prompt. For that, we can set a method called set default close operation, or you can leave it like this. So once it is done, then what we have to do is we have to write down the main method. That is a very essential for any application, console-based application, right? So here I'm going to write it here as public static void main. Within this, we have to pass string type array. So let string, then array name can be args. And within this, simply we have to create object of this particular class. Why? Because in this particular class, we are having a one constructor, and everything has been done as a part of the constructor itself. So what I'll be doing is I'll be creating an object of this particular class. So I'll be writing the class name, then reference variable, let's say O equal to new, because dynamically we are going to create a object of it, and then we have to close it. So this is the closing curly braces for the class name. This is for the main. This is for the constructor. So obviously we need to save this file. See, in order to save this file, we'll take the data type as file type as Java source file, and this is the file name because my class name is a checkbox impl, and I'll save it. In order to compile and run, I'll go to the command prompt, right? So now again, I need to share my screen because maybe my screen is not visible to you. So yes, it is visible, right? So what we can do is we can write a command here in order to compile it. So this command is going to be Java C followed by class name dot Java. If there is any error, then we have to go to the program, we have to correct it, right? So there is a problem with the line number 27, 28, 24. So let us check where is the error, right? So start of the error is from line number 5 itself. So in the line number 5, class checkbox IMPL extends JFrame. That is a spelling mistake. Again, we have to wait, we have to check it out. So there was only a single mistake. Now let us run this. We'll go for run. See out here. And again, I wanted to share my screen. I have to check whether this is visible to you or not. Yes, it is visible. Right. And then here you can see we are having a 3 checkboxes. If I click it here, it is getting selected. Again, if I click it, it is getting deselected. If I wanted to select the painting, I can select this also. I can select this also. I can select this also. If you want to deselect it, right? So you can click any one of them and that is getting deselected. So this is the one way of creating this particular JCheckBox. And this is the proper implementation of checkbox. So whenever we are going to create a full-fledged graphical user interface application, there we can implement the concept of checkbox. And checkbox is having a feature. All checkbox can be selected or none of them can be selected. It is up to the user discretions. Thank you very much for watching this particular video. And again, in the next video, I'll be taking the concept of J button class. So just keep on waiting for the next video to come very shortly. And maybe by today itself or tomorrow, I'm going to release the video for J button class. Thank you very much for watching this particular video.